Robert Karpathios here, creator of the Ditch Your Dad-bod Blueprint, and welcome to another episode of Own Your Life. We're back in beautiful wine country, Niagara-on-the-Lake, and you're about to meet one of our top VIP fat loss students and learn how he torched nearly 30 pounds of stubborn belly fat and reclaimed his health and his fitness. Enjoy.
I'm Kevin Neufeld. I live in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I own Beau Chapeau Hat Shop, which is a hat store in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I grew up on a fruit farm, on a vineyard. Working on the farm is, as people know, you're up early, you're working when you get home from school, you're working on Saturday, and if it's harvest time, you're working. There's no days off. You work, on Sundays, which I used to grind against my dad quite a bit about that, but he was very good and very gentle and would always convince me that was a good idea, which was good because it made me farm strong, right? I cursed it as a kid, but was great for me later in life. My mom really tried to give us good food. She canned a lot. Every Saturday she baked, and she was really an amazing cook and baker. But then my mom went to work actually, and I was at the end of grade school, at the beginning of high school, I would come home from school and she'd have Swanson turkey dinners for me. And she was very, very innovative, and she was an early adapter. My mom had this amazing idea to go buy 30 McChickens and 30 filet of fish, and that's how she was going to feed her son after school, because I was playing a lot of hockey as a kid. I was on my school team, I was on my rep team, I was playing pickup, but it was she did the best she could, and so I spent most of my time playing hockey as a kid. I started in house league and then moved on to travel, rep team, double B or single A or whatever it was. That got more and more competitive, and I got more and more involved in it through grade school. And then once I got to high school, I kind of had to decide, did I want to go hockey or soccer? You really can't do both. I then focused a lot more on hockey, and our hockey team became more cohesive because we played together all of our lives and we got very good. We went to the Silver Stick almost every year, which is a major tournament in North America. I remember at practice, doing lines and then skating over to the bench, puking in the garbage can and getting back out there before we had to do the next one. As far as nutrition goes, there wasn't a lot of focus on nutrition back then. I think it was, I don't even know how much it was known. We ate a fruit roll-up thinking that was fruit. And we thought Cheerios was, a really, really good for you cereal. I was fortunate that I didn't have to worry too much about it, but I wasn't in cut shape, I guess you'd say. I was in good shape, but I wasn't in amazing shape. So after high school, I wanted to take a gap year, and I went to school in Switzerland to a school called Youth with a Mission. Fitness did not play any part of that, although everywhere you go in Switzerland, you're walking up a hill. So that was fitness, I guess you'd say. After 2 years, I came home and I worked in the hotel industry here in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I actually met my wonderful wife at a hotel here while we were both working there. We had a whirlwind summer romance, and we got married within 7.5 months of meeting each other. And we got so busy because we started our business in 1997. We bought a fixer-upper house, and we had our first kid. Then 2 years later, we had twin boys, and all of a sudden we had 3 kids, and we were outnumbered, and the pressures of life start to knock things off. And I worked out a tiny bit. I would go jogging. I would play pickup hockey once in a while, but not very often at all anymore. And my health started to really decline. I have a history of heart disease in my family, especially among the men. My grandfather passed away from a heart attack. My dad has had a couple heart attacks. And my doctor, about 15 years ago, said to me, that I need to read this book called it was called Younger Next Year, How to Live Like 50 When You're 80. And I was 35 at the time. And I thought to myself, this is crazy that she's making me read this book when I'm 35 and it's all about living like 50 when you're 80. I figured I should really do something about that. I'm like a 170. I've always been 170. I can't actually remember being less than 170 or more than 170. All of a sudden, I was cracking 190 and I had young kids, and it just got to the point where I would keep going up and up and up. And I've always tracked my weight, and looking back in my books, I can see my weight was just increasing every year. It would be more and more. And then every once in a while, I'd really buckle down and I'd get myself down to like 168. And then I'd go, okay, now I can take my foot off the gas, and then I'd start over again. And then do the whole thing. And I was just yo-yoing up and down and up and down. And that's just not good for anyone's health, right? In November of 2021, I was becoming increasingly dissatisfied with the shape that I was in. I did not like the fact that I fully had a dad bod. I would look in the mirror. I did not like, actually didn't even like the way my face had changed. You know, I looked like a chipmunk, it felt like. And my wife, meanwhile, is looking better than she looked when I first met her. I had been watching a guy that I play hockey with. He wasn't in amazing shape to start, but he was in decent shape. And then all of a sudden I saw him starting to lose weight. And I was like, what is going on with Andrew, man? He is losing so much weight. And then all of a sudden he started to get jacked and he started to get ripped. And I'm like, holy smokes, this guy's growing muscle where he didn't have muscle, and he looks incredible. I'm gonna look like that guy. I asked him about it, and he explained to me that he had started this program called Ditch Your Dad-bod Blueprint, and what it was doing for him, and how he was working through it, and it was tough, but it was really rewarding. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's like super rewarding because things are changing. And so we went away to the Dominican, and I am laying on a lounge chair, and I'm looking around me, and there's all these fit people. And I'm thinking, why can't I be like that? Like, why do I have to have this dad bod? Why do I have to be laying on a lounge chair with one hand covering my gut so that, my wife doesn't see my rolls, and I don't see my rolls, and nobody else sees my rolls? So I texted Robert, and we set up the call, and then I believe Robert had me starting on a Monday. I downloaded the app on Friday, and I started on Saturday when I got back from the Dominican because I couldn't wait another second. There was no way I was waiting for another second. I had to do something about it. I had to get out of this way of thinking. I had to get out of the yo-yo, and that's how I got connected, and that's how I started. I've been in the program now for 10 months, and I've lost 27 pounds. When it really hit me, actually, the changes I noticed was I went grocery shopping and I picked up 20 pounds of potatoes at the point at which I had lost 20 pounds. And I was like, I've been carrying this around my waist for who knows how many years. It blew my mind, actually. At that moment, I was like, this is not just something I'm doing. This is something I've become. My shoulders are bigger, my chest is bigger, my arms are bigger, and my stomach is like, I can see my belly button again. It feels so much better in summer when you're driving in your vehicle and you don't have a sweat line or two sweat lines because your t-shirt got stuck in between your fat rolls, and it's so hot out that now you stand up and you got two lines across your t-shirt. Like, I was getting that, and I was just not okay with that. Because I work out from home, it allows me to, wake up, and 15 minutes later I can be working out, and that allows me to actually do it. I have really appreciated the community aspect of it and encouraging other people, because I myself started this program essentially because I was watching somebody else and I was inspired by somebody else. And thank God that guy did it, because he changed my life. His decision changed my decision. Hopefully my decision will change somebody else's decision, and more and more and more people. If you keep starting over and over again and you keep yo-yoing, this program will stop the yo-yo. And the yo-yo gets tired. It's not good for your health in the long run. It's terrible for you, right? And it's not sustainable. So I would definitely recommend that if you're thinking that you can do it all by yourself, you would have done it already, and you didn't. So you should probably try this.